Okay, we're live. I hope you can all see me. This is Beverly Jessup from Women in Action, and I am so excited to be here today because, starting an online speech therapy practice is exciting. But let's be real, it comes with a healthy dose of fear. Many therapists come to me and they worry about not being tech savvy enough, or attracting clients, or not charging their worth, or all those sort of things. Okay. And the good news is that these fears don't have to define your journey. With a few key mindset shifts, you can build a thriving practice with confidence. So, welcome to today's episode. This is one for you if you're thinking of setting up your own private practice. And just to let you know that in the description, you'll see that there is a workshop coming up very soon. And it's to go through your one-page business plan. And it's a very interactive workshop. It's on February the 8th. So make sure you sign up to that. I can't wait to see you in there. Welcome to Women in Action, the podcast for therapists and coaches dedicated to making a difference. I'm your host, Beverly Jessup. Join us each week for inspiring conversations with remarkable women who have shattered glass ceilings in therapy and coaching. From overcoming challenges to thriving in their profession, we explore their personal journeys and strategies for success. From online practices to mindset mastery, we provide practical insights to help you excel in your field. Our goal is to foster a supportive community where therapists and coaches connect, learn, and inspire one another to create transformative change. Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and empowered as we ignite your passion and equip you with the tools for impact. Thank you for joining us on this journey of growth. Let's unleash the power of women in action. All right, now I remember my first online session really vividly because it was someone who was in Italy. I don't speak Italian, and I had to help this young man, he was 17 at the time, to pass his oral exams. Now in Italy, you have oral exams, and I didn't know anything about the Italian schooling system. They don't have special schools, so I was told by his dad. And he had a carer, he had support staff there for him. And he needed it because he was nonverbal. He needed to use alternative and augmentative means of communication. He had an iPad. He didn't know how to use the app that I got his dad to install on him, on the app. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do it? I'd spent hours making sure everything was right. I made sure that the camera angle was right, the Wi-Fi connection was right, there was backup plans. What if it didn't work? But the moment I hit start meeting, a wave of doubt crashed over me. What if I was unprofessional? What if I can't engage with my client the same way online? The truth is, I wasn't alone in those fears, and you're feeling them too, I'm sure. You're in a good company. So many brilliant speech therapists hesitate to take that leap into telepractice, not because they lack the skills, but because they're worried they won't be techie enough, or they might not have the expertise to translate what they know offline onto online, onto the screen. And here's the good news. Your success as a teletherapist has far less to do with tech skills and far more to do with mindset. And if you've ever helped a non-verbal child say their first word, or supported an adult regaining their speech and their language, then trust me, you're already got everything that it takes. And you just need to shift the way you see yourself in this new space. So let's break down the mental blocks holding you back, and reframe them so that you can step into this journey with confidence and clarity. And I've actually created a little presentation for you. So I think I shared a presentation last time, and I've got a bit addicted to presentations now. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see this wonderful presentation I have presented for you. Can you all see that? Hopefully you can. Okay, great. And if you're watching this live, type live in the chat, or if you're watching it on replay, type replay. I'd really love to know what you get out of it. And if there are any questions, please let me know, whether you're watching it live or in replay. Let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to answer them. So this is a presentation I wanted to share with you. Is that just click the wrong button there. Let me just get that right. There you are. Okay, can you all see that? I hope you can all see that. Right, so we are going to go talking about self-doubt to success. Okay, I've got 5 mindset shifts to get through, so I hope we can get through them all. So as I was saying, I talked about my first online session. Let me know in the chat what your first online session was like. You know, I know that self-doubt creeps in, and you know, I'm sure you're questioning yourself about your tech skills, your qualifications, but I want you to push through those uncertainties. Okay, and I want you to develop these strategies to build your confidence and to thrive in your telepractice. So the first one I want to talk about is a fellow therapist called Sarah, and she had 15 years of experience working in schools, and she was fantastic at what she did, engaging children, adapting the therapy on the spot, guiding the parents with ease, talking at annual reviews and IEP meetings and all that sort of thing. She was brilliant at it. But when she decided to move online, doubt crept in. And, you know, she said things like, I feel like I'm starting from scratch. What if families don't trust me as much online? You know, she asked me all these questions. And I said to her, Sarah, if you saw a doctor in a clinic one day, and then the next time you saw them was on a video call, would you suddenly believe they were less qualified? You know, and she laughed. And I said, you know, of course not, because the setting doesn't define your expertise. Your experience does. And tech and new formats may feel unfamiliar at first, but your knowledge, your intuition, and your ability to connect with clients don't disappear just because there's a screen between you. Okay. If anything, telepractice expands your reach. You know, I've seen clients in Nigeria, in Dubai, in all over the UK, and I live on a little island in the UK. So, you know, getting off the island means I have to get a ferry and drive to these places. But obviously, when I'm doing telepractice, I don't have to do that. I've seen people in France and Italy and where else? Germany. You know, so lots of different places. And you can now help families who may have struggled to access in-person therapy, maybe because they're in remote places. So being an expert doesn't mean you know everything. It means using what you do know to make a difference. So the next time your inner critic kind of whispers, you're not qualified for this, respond with, I have valuable skills and someone out there needs my help today, because, you know, let's face it, they do. Okay. So that's the first thing. Now, I want you to stop comparing yourself. Really stop comparing yourself to others. Your journey is your own. You know, a few months ago, you know, when I was into my teletherapy journey, and it was only a few months in, as I was saying, with this Italian client, and I saw him every week for about a year, because he had to pass these oral exams, and these oral exams were presented on his iPad. The grids were color coded. He had a literacy level and a comprehension level of a 4-year-old, so the sentences had to be broken down to that level. You know, it was really difficult because he couldn't read those sentences, so they had to be symbol sentences. They had to be color coded, and he needed to press 1 or 2 symbols to get that sentence out for that presentation. And he had 5 different grids on 5 different topics. Okay, and I was thinking, gosh, this sounds difficult, but I worked it out. But you might find yourself, you're scrolling through social media and you're looking at other therapists and you're thinking, oh, they've got really polished branding, or oh, look at their perfectly curated Instagram feeds, you know, and their glowing testimonials. And, you know, when I was looking at all that, you know, I felt, oh, I was just years behind, even though I'd started my therapy career in 1990. I mean, how old is that? You know, and I didn't go online until 2015. So I'd been a therapist for, you know, a long time. I'm trying to do the maths here, you know, decades, until I started going online. But I was thinking the same as you, probably, like, oh, I'll never be as good as them. They've got it all figured out, you know. Does that sound familiar to you? It's easy to fall into that comparison trap, you know, especially in a digital world where you see other therapists showcasing their wins. But here's the truth. No one talks about the behind the scenes, you know, the messy middle. No one talks about them. Behind every successful teletherapist is a messy middle. The awkward first sessions, the tech hiccups, the self-doubt. I mean, even this week, I had a tech hiccup, you know, with a client who, you know, normally the son sorts out all the tech, you know, on that side. But the son wasn't there. He sent me a message like 10 minutes before the meeting to say, oh, sorry, I can't come to the meeting, but I've left instructions with my mum. She's not very techie, but hopefully it'll be sorted. And because she wasn't techie, it wasn't sorted. So I had to think on my spot. And that's what therapists do. They think on the spot and they think, oh, this isn't working. Let's shift it up and let's use a different toy and let's use a different activity. And I had to use a different way of communicating with her, and change the session there and then to get over that tech issue. So the difference is they keep going. You know, imagine if you told a child who got, say, S-blends problems, if you said, you know what, you should just quit because Jamie down the hall there, you know, in class 5B, is already saying them perfectly. It would be absurd, right? It would really be absurd. You'd never say that to a client. So why do you say that to yourself? Your success isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Okay? So instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to the past self. Instead of focusing on how far ahead you are, ask yourself, have I learned something new this week? Did I step out of my comfort zone? Am I showing up for myself and my future clients? So the therapists you admire online, they started exactly where you are. And one day someone will look at you and think, wow, they really have it all figured out, because you will. And now people say to me, oh, you've been a speech therapist for over 30 years. Yeah, but I've only been a teletherapist for 10 years. But look at me, I'm putting myself down because 10 years in the UK is a lot longer than most people. They only started in 2020 or when COVID was happening, and they only did it during COVID, and now they're not doing it. But I'm still doing it, and I'm still seeing clients all over the world. So you can do it too. So I want you to now think about the next mindset shift, which is pricing with confidence. You deserve to be paid well. Okay. Let me tell you about my first online inquiry. And I was thrilled until they asked the question, what do you charge? And my stomach dropped and I stammered out a number that was way too low, because I copied other people, just to avoid any awkwardness. And guess what? They said immediately yes to me. And then I realized, at that moment, I just underpriced myself. So if you're hesitating to set your rates or feel guilty about charging clients for your expertise, you're not alone. Many speech therapists, especially those transitioning from salaried positions, struggle to assign a value to their services. But here's a shift. You must, this is really crucial, right? Your rates are not just about your time that you spend in the session. They reflect your experience, your skill, and the life-changing results you deliver. So when I had a client in Vancouver, in Canada, I couldn't believe it when he came on and he asked me questions, and I asked him what he wanted to achieve. He said he just qualified as a doctor, and he had a lisp. And he said to me, I don't want to be known as the doctor with the lisp. And that he was willing to pay a lot to get it sorted, because he wanted to get it sorted in 6 weeks. And I knew I could deliver that with my experience, with my step-by-step approach to sorting out lisps. And he sorted it out. He did the work. I tell you, he did the work because he valued the end result. Okay, it was a life-changing result. So think of it this way. Imagine walking into a high-end restaurant, okay, and you see two options for the steak. One is for £10 and the other is for £50, okay? Which do you assume is a better cut of meat? The one with the higher price, right? And clients also associate price with quality and value. If you price yourself too low, people may subconsciously question your expertise. And let's be real, okay, undercharging will only lead to burnout and resentment. You'll find yourself overlooked, overbooked, underpaid, and exhausted, which defeats the whole process of moving to telepractice for a better work-life balance. Okay, so those are my tips I wanted to let you know. And while you're on, please subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you will be notified when I do a next episode live. Okay, so I want you to do this mindset shift. Okay, you're not just charging for your time, you're charging for your results. So next time you hesitate about raising your rates, remember, clients aren't just paying for the session, they're paying for the years of experience behind it. And even if you have only got a few years of experience, just remember, you know more than your client, okay? People expect to pay for quality services. They just need to see the value you bring. And you deserve to be paid well for transforming lives. So take a deep breath, say your price with confidence, and know that you are worth every single penny. Okay, mindset shift 4. Take imperfect action. Okay. I once spent for 3 hours trying to get my webcam angle right, just right before my first teletherapy session. 3 hours. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? And after all that, the client barely noticed. I could have been upside down and they still would have been happy to get the help they needed. We see speech therapists love a well-structured plan, don't we? We analyze, we prepare, we tweak, we adjust, because in our line of work, small details can make a big difference. But when it comes to starting your telepractice, perfectionism can be a trap. Waiting until you feel ready means you'll be waiting forever. One of the biggest myths in starting an online business is that you need to have everything. The perfect website, the ideal branding, the flawless therapy materials before you can begin. But I'm here to tell you, done is better than perfect. Think about the children and adults you work with. Imagine if they refused to try speech exercises because they couldn't do them perfectly the first time. It would make sense, right? Progress comes from showing up, making mistakes, and improving along the way. The same is true for you. Okay, so that mindset shift I want you to switch in your brain is you don't need confidence to start. You need to start to gain confidence. So instead of waiting for everything to be just right, ask yourself, can I help a client today with the skills I already have? And the answer to that is yes, you can. And would a real imperfect therapy session be more valuable than me endlessly preparing for a future one? Absolutely. Absolutely. And is my fear of not being perfect stopping me from changing someone's life? That's a hard truth, but it's worth facing. Take action, even messy action. In messy, imperfect action, it's what builds success. So start today, launch your practice, hold the first session, trust that you'll figure things out along the way, because the best way to become a successful therapist is just begin. Okay. So mindset shift. Number 5, embrace selling as helping. You're not selling, you're changing lives. Okay. That is what I want you to know, is you're not selling, you're changing lives. I used to cringe at the idea of selling my services. The word sales made me kind of feel like it's pushy, like a pushy car salesman, right? Those awkward cold calls that you get. I just wanted to help people. Wasn't that enough? I thought to myself. And then I had a realization. One day, a parent said to me, we've been looking for a speech therapist for months. We can't find one in our local area, or they're all booked up. And we have no idea to start. I wish we'd found you sooner, you know? And that made me realize, that really hit me, because it was a young man who had autism. He was out of school. They couldn't find a speech therapist, they were really struggling. And that it really hit me. I wasn't pushing my services on someone. I was solving a problem for people who needed my help. Selling isn't about tricking someone into booking with you. It's about making sure that the people who need you can actually find you. So I want you to reframe the fear of selling. Think about a parent whose child struggles to communicate, or an adult recovering from a stroke. desperate to regain his speech and his language. He's struggling with finding the words. Imagine if they never found you simply because you felt awkward about marketing yourself. You felt awkward about talking about your services. Would you hesitate to tell a parent about a therapy strategy that could change their child's life? Of course not, you wouldn't. And that's exactly what selling is. It's connecting the right people with the right solution. Okay, so when I want you to change that mindset shift. If you believe in the work of, in the value of your work, it's your responsibility to share it with the world. The next time you hesitate to talk about your services, remember, people need what you offer. Make it easy for them to find you. Marketing isn't about forcing, it's about inviting the right people in. And confidence comes from knowing your service truly helps people. So go ahead, share what you do. In the chat below, I want to know what you do. So tell me what you do. Talk about the lives you've changed. Tell people how you can help them, because selling isn't selfish, it's serving. So let me know how you change people's lives. Put in the chat down below. If you're watching it on replay, still write this replay and then write down how you help people. Okay, I wanted to let you know that I have a free workshop, the one-page business plan workshop. And this is what you'll learn. You'll learn a simple plan to start your telepractice, find and connect with clients. We'll talk about setting up your services, getting clear on pricing, your session structure and your business model. And the spaces are limited, so register to secure your place. I've left the link in the description. So let's just conclude before we finish. Your success starts with your mindset. Okay, so let's take a moment to look back at where we started. Maybe you felt overwhelmed by technology, unsure about your pricing, or hesitant about promoting your services. Maybe that little voice of self-doubt was whispering, "You're not ready yet." But now you know the truth. Okay, your expertise doesn't disappear just because you're online. Okay, comparing yourself to others won't serve you. Taking action will. You deserve to charge what you're worth and build a business that supports you. Perfection isn't required, but progress is. And selling isn't about pushing, it's about helping. So success as a teletherapist isn't about having the right platform or the fancy software. It's about believing in yourself, showing up and taking action. And you don't have to figure it all out on your own, because I've got this free one-page business plan workshop for speech therapists. And if you're feeling unsure about starting or growing your telepractice, I've got something special for you. And you know, you're going to learn so much. So I don't want you to miss out. The link is in the description. So sign up and I will see you there on the 8th of February. So I'm running this live today because I normally run it live on a Friday, but unfortunately I have to go to a funeral this week, in fact tomorrow. So I'm not able to do that. So anyway, if you want to see this video again, it will be on my blog, on my website. So if you go to mavenbusinesshaven.com/podcast, you will be able to see my blog and this video as well. And I can't wait to see you on the 8th of February for the workshop. Take care. Bye for now.